All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a great day so far. It is Thursday, November 18th, the fourth day into this beautiful week, option expiration week. What a day, what a day, what a day so far. Man. What about these rippers? So this week has been, we've been a little bit top heavy, but we've been moving, chugging along. We got some great plays, great setups so far. You just have to be patient with it. We got into some volatile sessions yesterday, like I expected. It is option month expiration. So remember, market maker likes to do his thing on this week. So be careful, be careful. All right, so let me see if I can just dive into it. Nvidia absolutely killed earnings this week. Destroyed their earnings getting into the metaverse play. I'm about to show you a news article here on Barron's that kind of tells us what to look for in the future here. So there we go. So here it is. Are we sharing this? Or yes, we are sharing. Am I sharing? Are we sharing this? Yeah, we are sharing it. Okay, cool. So here is, forget NVIDIA. This is the 57 billion metaverse play. So this is why NVIDIA is moving. They do have an arms deal pending, but that's being scrutinized at this moment. But NVIDIA overnight was on fire. So here it is, guys. A couple of plays here, a couple of things I'm going to be looking at the horizon. We're not going to put it on our list. This is just for my investors out there. We want to be looking at NVIDIA. We want to be looking at this $57 billion worth of opportunity that can be starting with the metaverse or NVIDIA's Omniverse, right? Because that's what they're calling. They're going to be competing. But very interesting here. There's this company called KER, Kirium, as well as Roblex. This is what I've been telling you all week long. And then Kirium, which is KER, that's on the move. So I'm going to be watching those moving forward to see if there's any plays there. But again, just thought I'd share that. All right, so let's dive in here. So, all right, Bitcoin is going down, but we're not going into Bitcoin. We'll say Bitcoin for last. All right, so let's start with normal plays. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, amazing. Welcome. Guys, so I'm doing this basically because I want to share my trade setups every day where we observe the opportunity. Again, every day you wake up and you say, where is the opportunity today? Because there's always an opportunity. And you can always train your mindset to start looking at the positive things, start looking for the opportunities, and no matter any market conditions that we are in currently. So what I like to do to begin, I'm going to start my ritual, and hopefully this can start embedding some things in you and start creating some traders and start creating some winners out there. All right, so here we are. So we start with the S&P 500. All right, so here we are. This is the daily, and this is the daily on the three indices. So we're looking at the S&P, SPX, the NDX, and the Russell. So if you're trading these on the ETF, this is the SPY, QQQs, IWM. All right, so let's begin. So we're having a hard time. 47.19. We're still bullish. We're still very bullish. It's still going up. But these are key levels you're going to watch. We're going to watch 46.28 to the downside. And we're going to watch that 47.21 if you're into it. Now, the MACDs are showing me weakness. But this means that if we pull back, is the pullback going to be in this area as this comes up? And that's going to be set up for a move maybe into the Christmas and the Christmas rally, right? Now, retail sales does come out today and tomorrow, so we're going to pay attention to that and see what they forecast going into the next quarter. So if they guide up, that'd be a positive thing. If they guide down, then we're going to have to watch below, but pay close attention to those numbers. All right, so now, if we come down, we're probably going to come down quite a bit. But even if we come down, we can come down to this 45 and still be pretty bullish. Okay, so it doesn't mean that conditions have changed, but we are pretty extended. But in the short term, because we trade the short term, it looks like we had an inside day yesterday on the XPX, which is normal, and we're probably going to have some movement going into Friday. Now, it is OPEC week as well, and that can also make things very volatile. So we're going to keep our eyes on that as well. Okay, the Nasdaq, very strong, much stronger than the other three. But we're coming up to these tops of 16,405, 16,451. One thing I have noticed that the TNX is creeping up. Not to the levels that it's still okay at that level. I think the market's okay with it. But if it starts going any higher, then that's going to signal that the NDX could probably stop dropping. As you can tell, the MACDs are telling us that we had a nice run. It just needs that this run is probably losing weakness, okay, and needs to cool off a little bit. Now, we could have a second win, like I've stated. If we do have a second win, that is going to be an exhaustion buy. What do I mean by that? This is probably the area that they're probably going to be selling into strength. That's usually the area that we capture the FOMO buyer. So, okay, watch it. I'm glad you're watching this show because we're going to help you not be a FOMO buyer, okay? All right, so now Russell pulling back nicely. I like this pullback on the Russell. I like it. I like it a lot. It pulled back. What MACDs are telling me is weakness. Let it pull back. Let it drop. Let it drop. Let it drop. There'll be another opportunity. We're still pretty bullish on the Russell. How low can it go? It can probably go to this level right here around 2350, somewhere in there. So we'll see. All right, so let's dive in. VIX. Now the VIX, okay, so the VIX is creeping higher. So yesterday we had some fear coming in and we had an inside day on the XPX. Now this is the level you're going to watch today, 1719, because if we break that today, that means that the XPX more likely is going to pull back. Okay, if we start breaking below the 50 of 1668 and start going lower, that means that fear is dissipating and is pulling back, and more likely the XPX is going to start lingering higher. Is it going to break through that upper level? I'm not sure. I think we need more information, more news to come out. Maybe some positive news coming out of the retail sector, something to confirm that that is going to go. But more than likely, it's a 50-50 chance at this moment of time where we're at. We are at all-time highs. I know a lot of people say, so that's why I showed you the daily. So if you're doing the dailies and you're investing now and you don't have time to sit in front of your computer, you're taking a low probability trade. But because you're trading like me in the 50-minute time frame, we're going to be in and out of these things pretty quickly, okay? We're just trying to take the highest probability entries, and then we're going to get out at certain levels, okay? And see if we capture some moves like we caught Tesla. If you caught Tesla, high five. We're going to get to that in a minute. All right. So Treasury Notes creeping higher. And this is what I'm talking about. I have my alert up here at, it's creeping up, but it's losing interest right here. So it looks like it could die down. If that dies down, that's pretty positive for tech. And again, but I'm going to be watching this VIX because this VIX is creeping up, and that's fine. We're having remember, it is option expiration week. So there will be a lot of it'll be a volatile session, and more likely, this is where they, I hate to say it, they capture a lot of the new traders, okay, and because they get whipsawed. They get whipsawed. They don't really understand the market condition. Not watching this show, me telling them, but they're getting whipsawed. Basically, what's happening, they get into a position, they get out, they don't understand that it's probably going to be a very volatile. So I expect that the VIX is probably going to go higher. But as long as it stays below 1747, we're okay. If we get into the 18s, then that's a more severe pullback. All right. Are you ready? All right. There's some moves today. All right. Let's dive in. XPX. Good. Awesome. Looking pretty good. It's indicative of a pullback here. So we're below the 50, right? And again, not in alignment here with what we like to see. But there were some swing trades if you want to trade them to the downside. Remember, broke down, came up to the 50, and pulled back. You had a zero bounce there, close to zero, but it pulled back. And you had a roughly, remember I told you, if we start putting the pieces together, you can see that 4,700 was pretty hard, pretty severe, and it hit his head at 4,700. Even though the 50-day is not there, but the 50-day, when it broke, it gave you a little confirmation that momentum was dropping, and this is how we like to trade. So that was a trade there. And remember, you're not going to get greedy. You're going to trade it to the previous support, right? So could you have taken that trade? Yeah. If you got a 96, got out around 84, you got about a 12-point ripper. If you trade the XPX, it moves on average around 15 to 25 points on a daily basis. Okay, there's no trade here. We're going to be looking at this level of 46.84, and we're going to be looking at the top of 4,700. Remember, 4,700 is pretty strong in this period. So can it go back up and break down? But ultimately, we're kind of in no man's land. We're waiting on news. I don't have the futures up yet, but let me see if I can log in and get the futures. All right, so we got the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is right there. It's right there. Can it bounce, right? Now, if the 10X starts pulling back, there is a possibility we can do that. Now, the chip sector is coming out very, very favorable. It's on fire, right? And did I tell you that we have the big guy, we got AMAT announcing today, and we're going to hear what they are going to say. If they start saying that conditions with the chips are getting better, that the short supply is coming to the end, then we're probably going to go higher, and maybe that's the news that we need to start going higher. So, but ultimately, chips are good. Now, the one thing about chips, and I've been talking about this, chips have usually, they don't move, but they usually have a quarter of movement. So I'm going to stick to the chips to last, but the chips are ready. They are ready. They are ready. Pay close attention. They are ready. They are ready. They are ready. In this time frame, we're going to be looking at daily plays, but you can move the time frame, start looking for a longer term plays in that sector, because I think they're going to be fire for this quarter coming up, and I'm going to show you how. All right, so Nasdaq right there, and let's see what happens at the zero bounce. Can the Nasdaq hold these up? If it starts, and again, it can go to 16,275, but again, MACDs are pulling back, showing some weakness. Let it pull back, let it base, do not chase, let it show us where is the exact entry. Okay, Russell, I'm waiting for a reversal on Russell. Russell, we took it down. They took it down. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of sell-off on Russell. And again, it is going to reverse. But again, until, look at the slope. Hitting the 50, boom. Hitting the 50, boom. Hitting the 50. I'm not going to touch Russell to the upside until 2,400. Okay, 2,400, 2,389. We're going to start paying attention. But right now, there's a trade probably back to the 50 if you want to take that. 2,389, 2,377. If you want to do that, it looks like it's starting to base, going back up. But again, as far as bullishness, not really taking that trade. If it comes up to the 50, there is a possibility it can start dropping, right? Coming up here to the zero, bounce off a zero, go up to the 50, bounce off the 50, and start dropping. Now, give yourself a little time for that to develop. Okay, Alphabet, looking good. Now, I saw something really different on Alphabet yesterday, okay? So, on Alphabet, if you start looking at these antennas, and again, this is advanced, this is not the system, but I'm noticing these little antennas at the bottom, we call wicks, there's a lot of buying down at this 29.50 area. So that is, to me, and I look at other time frames, I saw buyers come in on Alphabet. So Alphabet could be ready to go. Now, Angel, but what about these other ones? Yeah, if these can hold, these hold. But if this starts declining, Alphabet's not going to go. But if these hold, the Nasdaq starts going, then Alphabet can probably go 29.71. I think it's going to take another crack at that 3,000 pretty soon. So watch it. I saw a lot of activity here. This could be the second win here. I saw a lot of activity at the close yesterday. A lot of buyers activity. A lot of the bots coming in. Remember, we look at the levels. Why? Because 85% of trading, believe it or not, is the bots. Right? So you got to know is a program. You got to know the algos. You got to know exactly where they're buying. That's why we trade these levels, because we can identify where they're buying and where they're selling. All right. Amazon. Amazon looking good. Again, some buyers coming in. Again, this week has been the week of the EVs, has been a week of the chips, and now these FANGs have been silent, and I'm seeing money coming back into the FANGs. Okay, so can it go? Amazon is still holding strong. It's got a lot of headwind at that 3,600. Can it finally break it? And if it does, it's probably going to go. And just in alignment with the Christmas rally, maybe they're waiting on retail sales. There was another article on Barron saying that people are starting going back to the malls. We'll see. Okay. Tesla. Going higher, going higher, going higher. Again, this is a beautiful, beautiful play we did yesterday. Let me see if I can fix this. I shared this with, I was on a Zoom call yesterday sharing with a friend how we trade these things and how we identify where the algos are trading. And we identified these things, and look, it's going. We had a play here yesterday that we traded. I put that on my Instagram account as well. Beautiful, high five to the ones that took it because we laid it out beautiful. That was the trade of the day. Laid it out beautiful. If you want to know how we trade that, look at the morning brew from yesterday and just time into the Tesla version. That was a beautiful, beautiful play. If you're just learning, study that, because that's key. That's exactly how we like to enter into our trades. All right, so Tesla's looking pretty good. Look pretty powerful at the close yesterday. Bounced off the 50. Now the entry was overnight, so again, we don't like our entry too far away from the 50, so we just wait and see. But it's got some headwinds here. Okay, it's got some headwinds right on top. Now the headwind that I see on Tesla, and I'm going to zoom out here for you, is look at this. Where am I here? Okay, so headwinds. We got this. Boom. 11.19. 11.19. If it can take that, we're probably going to go 11.75. 11.75. All right, we got that. But I don't like the setup. We're probably going to have a second win. Is it going to hit there or break through and pull back? I would like to get the trade near the 50 for a high probability trade. But if you're in that trade from yesterday still or took it, you wouldn't be taking this trade. But if you got into it and you're still holding, just know those levels. Okay, here we go. All right, but there's a lot of buyers coming into Tesla. All right, ISRG, this is a slow mover. It's starting to creep up slowly but slowly. If you want to get into this trade, it looks like it's setting up right now. If it takes out that 361, 364, what it has on top, we can probably go to this area here of 366, maybe 368. So watch it, and what happens up there. We're going back to the all-time highs from last week. Okay, Chipotle, they're taking it down. Looks like it's about to gap open today, which is positive. Going back to the 50, beautiful. Let it base. They took this one down. We're going to set this one up. It's probably ready to start rallying again, but maybe not today. We're going to watch the levels of 1840. Watch this. If it goes up bases and then give us a nice base, maybe tomorrow going into Friday or maybe Monday, this could be a nice trade potential. But we're going to watch it, see how it reacts to that 50. It's above the 50 right now. Let's see how it goes there, if it can pull back or break through. But it's looking pretty good. It's setting up nicely. Okay, we have Lam Research. Lam Research, remember, these guys make the chips. Good news out of Nvidia. Look at Nvidia fly, by the way. Let's see if they're going to start taking up the chips. Now, the chip sector is what I'm going to noticing. I'm seeing money coming back into these things. So we're going to look Lam Research. Look at Lam Research. It rallied. Did not sell off. It's holding steady, and I think it's waiting on AMAT. So 638 for the upside. If it can bounce off the 50, start taking that 638, we got that 644 on top. If it takes that, it flies. Okay, Shopify, holding steady. There's still rumors of that split, so hold it. Now, here's the thing about Shopify. We rallied significantly. Now, here's the deal. FOMO buyers, okay? At the 50, even though we have a lot of strength going into the 50, let's see how it reacts there. The MACDs are probably going to go here. Is this going to bounce down and then we can capture the wave down, or is it going to break through? I would wait and see. If it breaks through, wait for it. It got that 1677 on top, right? It can break through. Let's see how it goes through. We have some little bit of headwinds right here, 1663, but again, 1678 on top. This could be setting up. So we're going to watch this, and I want to see how it develops here. This move can start to develop. But this is a brand new, right there, brand new pre-market momentum swing. If we look at the MACDs, it just started. So is there going to be follow through and breaking through? Possibly. But watch those levels. Now, how can you play this? Easily. If you get into a position, I can't tell you what option position because I'm not licensed. I can't tell you what to do. We're just showing just exactly what I do. If I were to do this, I would probably look at a position, get into it, and see how it reacts there. If I'm profitable at that moment, and I will be, I will probably lock in my gains and then roll up into another position to see if that's going to fly through. That's how I look at it, and I'm watching this at the open. So, again, Netflix. Working its way higher, couldn't break that 700. I told you 700 was strong. Can't break it, and we're pretty far up. So I think Netflix probably needs to pull back. MACDs are telling us no go. But below the 50, on the bottom, we got 686. We got Yep, 686, and we got 676. All right, Roku. I think they're taking this down. I didn't like Roku, even though it was. Look at Roku. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the CEO. I didn't like what he said. I didn't like the earnings. I think this one's gonna probably still. They're gonna take it down to 200. Not the setups that we like. And again, they're selling. You know what's. You know what sucks? They're taking this one down pre-market. They're selling it pre-market, so you're not really getting those entries, and they're selling it pre-market. I don't like this right here. It's not bouncing. You got two candlesticks on the. Oh, this is hourly. Let me switch that to 15 minutes. Okay, they took it down. So that's our entry pre-market right there, 244. MACDs are bouncing. It could go. That might be an entry to the bottom. Might have day with 200. Give yourself some time. Boom. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, there's no, and I don't like those candles on the 2 hours. So I think this one's going down, probably going to 200. Let it take it down. Let it take it down. That'd be a play to the downside. If the XPIC starts pulling back, you probably want to do that play. I'm going to be looking at that play at the open. All right, what do we got? We got Nvidia. Nvidia flying. They had earnings, killed it, and they're taking off. They're back. Now, what do we have on top? We have this level on top. So I'm going to show you from a bigger perspective because you got to be knowing of the headwinds on top. If you're going to take this trade, we don't like to take the trade because we like it near the 50 and it's too far away from the zero bounce. But if you're in this trade, and remember, I didn't play the earnings because it was 50-50, and I like high probability trades, and that trade wasn't high probability. But if you're in that trade, you want to look at this headwind of 327. Start looking at it at 323. If it pulls back, right, and there's a possibility it pulls back, comes back to the 50 because people can lock in some gains from playing that earnings play, and it comes back, and this comes back, then we're going to be ready to rock and roll. We're going to set up our trades properly. Remember, we do structured trades here, no FOMOs. If you're FOMO buyers, great, learn. If you want to learn, we'll teach you about structured trades. All right, with the high probability entries. Mercado Libre, let it take it down. I like Mercado Libre. Remember, the only reason they took down, they did a second offering. So, okay, they're taking it down. It's being priced in right now, but let it base. Let me move this out of the way. All right there. So, I like the divergence here. There is a divergence. It might be setting up soon, right? I like it. at 1512. I like it. It's holding at 1491. If it can get above 1500, start basing, breaking these headwinds of 1550, 1512. There is a move here, potentially setting up. So this one's going to be on the list. We're going to be setting up maybe at the open, or maybe at lunch or tomorrow. We're going to see if they take this up tomorrow at the weekend. Boom, it's flying. All right. So remember, if they feel confident enough of taking this up on a weekend, then that's a good sign. So we're going to be looking at that, setting that up nicely. Apple. Guys, did I tell you about Apple? We've been talking about Apple. I've been telling you about the chip play. Where's the chip play? Where's the opportunity? Who's going to benefit the most? And I gave you Apple. This was the trade at the open. I told you it was sidelining. Now, I don't like Apple because it doesn't move that much. But guess what? We set this up beautifully. We caught where the algos were coming in. I shared this with a dear friend of mine on a Zoom call, just telling her why we trade levels and why we have to identify where the algos are. So if you notice, I'm not really doing triangles or any of that stuff because for trading this system, you can't do that. It's too late. You're too late. So as you're waiting for the triangle to break out, we're getting out, right? And then we're adding another position because if that fails, then you're in and out. So that's why we don't do that. Not saying they don't work. They just don't work for this time frame. So if you're doing that, stop. It's not working. I'm going to tell you straight up. It doesn't work. So because the algos know about those triangles too, right? The algos know about the wedges and all that. So that's why we got to get ahead of the algos. Okay. And you have to identify where the levels are at. All right. That's a little tidbit. All right. But Apple, can it go? Guys, if there's whispers of that the chip shortage is over, or coming to the end, or better, this is going to 170. If we hear Apple going into full production, then it's banging. Great news article in Barron saying that they're gonna kill it with their iPhone sales for December because they took the chips away from the iPad and invested them into the iPhone. So now imagine now that they now have the chips to do the iPads full production. They got the M1 that's killer. Laptop. I have the M113. I'm probably going to pick up the 15, and I have a 15 from last year, but I mean, they're great computers. So Is it setting up? Yep, it's setting up. Let's see what happens here. Now, Apple can probably move a dollar or two. We just got to wait what the algos do. But again, it might be setting up. Watch that 153. Watch the zero bounce. If it starts picking up momentum, you can probably pick it up. Now, watch that 155. So that's about a dollar 15. But if it breaks 155, we got some moves up here because we got. Oh, let me just go. Let me just show you from this perspective. If it breaks that 155, we got, all right, ultimately 157. If it breaks 157, it goes. Okay, now remember, full production, what does that mean? That means that we probably have a price target of 170 on Apple. Not in the short term. Remember, this moves a little slower, but long term. All right, so just pay attention on that one. All right, trade desk. This was a killer one. Remember yesterday, I told you about this trade. If you want it, watch the market pulse. Remember, I do the follow-up of all these trades at the market pulse at lunchtime. So you don't see me, but you see the charts. And if you want, guys, press that subscribe, press that like button. It helps me, it helps you, and it helps others because then it helps others identify this beautiful trading system in a way that they can make some little money into their bank the right way. Because, guys, I've been looking at TikTok, and it's just wow. I'm amazed how many people are teaching trading, and they just started doing it. It's just amazes me. And I've been in this game a long time. I can tell who's real, who's not. I'm not going to mention who is and who isn't, but because that's not how I work. It's a blessing. We're all evolving, and I think God bless them for creating, interest in this. But there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. But it's just like an infomercial, like bad infomercials of trading. But anyway, why did I say that? Forget it. I went on a tandem. All right, trade desk. Let's get to this. All right, so again, rally. Remember how I trade this. If you want to know how my management system, I talked about this at the market pulse from yesterday. Click on that, go to trade desk, and I showed you my money management system on this, and I always won. I took some loss. Yeah, I took a loss, but overall, I'm winning in this trade. But I like this setup on trade desk. Let's see if it can regain that 50. And again, regain that 50. If the MACDs can come back, bounce, it can probably go. I still believe that this has a price target of 120. Not today, but in the future. 120. Came out with great earnings, but let it set up. I like the setup here. This is a bull flag if I start zooming out, but we're catching the move here, so watch it. All right. What else do we got? We got Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs coming through, pulling back. Let's see what happens here at that 50. If it can go to the 50, start breaking down, that's why the Russell's breaking down. And it could probably drag the XPX with it if Apple goes down as well. So watch that, and that could be the play for the XPX. Now, Affirm, taking it down. Now, again, just not really. They took it down overnight. No play here. We just watch it. The layaway plan thing, that's not a big believer in it yet. Upstart, again, Affirm's competitors coming to the 50, coming to 0. Can it break through? Is it going to linger? 241. No play here. If it's basing, let it base again, and we're going to watch that 241 to get it going, and 247. HubSpot holding steady. They took it down. MACD's told us no go, but MACD's could be telling us something good soon. So we'll see. We got 866 on top. All right. Zoom. All right. Zoom below the 50. We don't like that. What's going to happen at that 50-day? It could go down, right? So we got 261, bouncing up to 263. This could be an exhaustion sell-off, right? And if it goes to that, they could probably come down to 253. So watch that. Again, bookings setting up nicely. We're seeing some buyers coming in. They took it down. So this is the one I like. I like this one. Where are the bears at? The bears are at 24.15, 24.06. If it starts going up, MACDs are telling me some strength, right? There's some buyers. The algos are buying. Now, if it starts going up, we're going to capture the bears. This is the bear trap right there, and that probably can go to 24.64 and 24.96. So that's going to be on my list. All right, ServiceNow, they're taking it up. That 700 is hard. So not until I get my alert that sells me 700, I'm not looking at ServiceNow. All right, Coinbase. Coinbase, 355, holding steady. Not really a play here, just kind of lingering. So let's put the alerts at 348 and 338, but could be the, I mean, yeah, no play here. No play. All right, let's go for here. 9:01. Okay, so I'm to get it done at 9 o'clock. All right, chips. Let's see what the setups are at. INTIU, a nice rally. FOMO buyer zone. Let's see if it can take it up. They didn't take it down so hard, but let's see if it can take that 639 and 644 to get it better. Can the MACDs roll up? Not there yet, but it's now selling off. So again, if it starts going down, 630 and 625 to the downside, but it's holding. So it's holding. It's not selling off. So that's telling me that it could maybe one. Qualcomm trying to go. This is probably going to go. It's going to go. Probably has a date with 200 soon. Pulling back here. Let's see if it can pull back. Let's see how it reacts to the 50. Can it bounce and start breaking higher and giving us a nice entry? That's on the list. Okay. ASML. They took it up, but they're taking it down. Okay, so this is at the close. It gapped up with Nvidia's earnings. Coming back down. Let's see what happens here. It's holding steady. But no entry for us. AMD, beautiful play, taking off, continuing its rally, but the play was at the close yesterday. So again, we didn't capture it, but if you caught it, but good luck, congratulations, but we need a pullback here for us to enter, High five if you got into that. AMAT, again, has earnings today. All eyes on AMAT. If AMAT starts taking out that 158 and starts signaling to the world that the chip shortage might be over, getting better, this takes off, chips fly. So watch that, and chips can have their season, their quarter that they haven't had. All right, Lucid and Rivian. Guys, they're taking it down. I mean, I know you're upset. I know you're in love. Okay, I know you want to get in at a good, but if we're trading Rivian Lucid, they're good. 61 was pretty hard. The evaluations are pretty, I mean, it's crazy with their evaluations. It's more than Ford, and great cars, great company. Just ridiculous. They're taking it down. All right, so watch the 50 at $51. It looks like it wants low buyers coming in. Watch the 50. It could probably go lower. Again, no setup here yet. Okay, Rivian, they're taking it down. Watch the 50s following, and it's probably going to go lower. Setting up here for zero bounce, zero, and yeah, probably can go lower. Probably go to 128. So if you haven't got into Rivian yet, there'll be an opportunity for you to get in. Roblex going up. Remember that article I told you about, Barons? They talked about who? Roblex. Roblex is an Nvidia play, metaverse, omniverse play. They're selling goods and services with Gucci, all those high-end stores for that. So Roblex is going to do well. If you believe in the metaverse, omniverse, and that whole scene, whether you agree with it or not, then it doesn't matter, but it's pulling back. I mean, it's gone. It's gone. So again, no entry from us. Our entry was a couple of days ago. Not really ideal. It's just flying. So it looks like it's going to pull back. Let it pull back, and let's see if we can get into an entry. All right, let's go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is selling off, and I'm looking at this Bitcoin. We need a bounce. Okay, we need a bounce today. If we don't bounce today, we go lower. MACD's telling me that we're probably not going to bounce. Let it pull back to the zero. Let's see how it reacts here. If this holds, that could be a setup for Bitcoin entry. But if it starts breaking down, then we're probably going to go lower. Okay, so watch Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, Bitcoin breaking down. So again, same. If this starts breaking down, bouncing off the 50, that could be an entry. Ethereum, we need a bounce. We need a bounce as well. So we're at the 50 and we're not bouncing. We need this to bounce. This is telling me that there's more weakness to occur, and it's probably going to go lower, maybe to that $4,000 level. This is still going down. So sorry to tell you, I'm just telling you where the order flow is going. It's still going down. All right, guys, that's all we got. We did it. Go out there, go get it. It is 9:05, so I went 5 minutes a little later. Hope I gave you some great setups. Do me a favor. Tell me about your setups. Tell me how much money you made. If you want to follow me on TikTok, that's where I give the results of the setups that I personally did. You can do that. Or most important, share this, guys. Share this. Abundance breeds abundance. The more you share this, the more you're going to create it. And you get to help me out because it helps with the algo. And the more I will start doing this if you enjoy this. All right, guys. Go out there, go get it, and stay green. All right.